Hello friends, do you remember this store over there? It's called Tiddlywinks. It's a toy store. It's also the back cover of my last record with my band, my old band called The Scarred, the title of which was Live Fast Die Poor. But more importantly, it's also an amazing filming location from a, to me, epic movie called That Thing You Do. That's right, that was Patterson's Electronics, and this is the Sometimes Vlog. I really thought they were going to sing it. Don't know why. They would. Don't know those gentlemen at all. Have no idea whether or not they understand what a vlog is. I barely do. Much less know the words to the introduction of the Sometimes Vlog. So we'll have to finish it together. It's a vlog that happens sometimes. I am still totally just voiceless. It started last week. Oh, I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday or something like that, hanging out at Disneyland and just lost it. It just went. Then my friend Allie came out and spent another 4 or 5 days going to theme parks, mostly Disneyland, but a little spot of Universal Studios, which I hadn't been to for a long time, or at least not to ride the rides, and a lot of voice screaming loudness has really Heimbucked my throat and left me pretty laryngitis sounding-ish. I don't have a cold, I'm not sick, I just have exhausted the vocal cords and they will not submit to coming back. They're just Heimbucked for now. Which prevents me for the moment from filming, hello, Random Land. Look at these people, they look happy. Well, it does not prevent me from filming the Sometimes Vlog, although I try to take a day off there from doing it, just to see if it would sort of come back. But I have this sort of spot where I can continue talking, and it's okay, because it makes me sound super tough and cool anyways. No, the Random Lands, it's kind of bumming me out because I can't film. So it looks like I'm gonna have to spend the next few days to a week, according to friends of mine who are nurses. I don't have any friends who are doctors. Anybody know any doctors out there? If you're a medical doctor watching this, I would love to pick your brain the way that you watch vlogs into my brain. Anyway, look at that. I've been sitting on this bench here, just me and the old Doc Martens, after treating myself to a fantastic Red Robin lunch, which I thought would be free birthday burger, you know, Red Robin. It turns out you have to sign up for the rewards card. It takes 24 hours. Luckily, a very nice girl named Amber sent me a birthday card to the LFDP P.O. Box with a gift card for Red Robin, so I had it covered. So, Amber, you bought my birthday burger. Thank you. Look at that. So I've been sitting here in the orange circle looking at that for a while, just thinking about how Heimbucked my voice is and trying to figure out what the plan for the next week is. I love to come in these antique stores down here because, as you may or may not have figured out by now, I make my living as an artist, both as a graphic designer, which I used to do more of before. Now I don't really have as much time because I'm doing a lot of videos and doing a lot of stuff like that. Or even before when I was a musician and different stuff. And I always sell a lot of t-shirts and things like that, so it's a little hodgepodge of eking out a starving artist existence, but that requires a lot of motivation and inspiration. I like to come down to antique stores a lot because you get your hands on history. For example, there's this place right here. I have no idea what it's called. It's just, you know, a big antique store. I had never been into that store before. They have a lot of the fancier antiques, like $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 antiques, but they have a lot of stuff like Russian icons and, you know, antique mirrors and headboards from the 1500s and stuff like that. Well, where are you going to get your hands on a headboard from the 1500s? You're not allowed to touch them in a museum or somewhere like that, but it's really cool to come see, touch history, and also see. I'm trying to get off of this bench here, but it's kind of Heimbuck myself. And also get your hands on history. This place right here, Grand Avenue Antiques, has got a lot of framed prints in there and old books and stuff like that. So they got a bunch of framed prints. They also have dogs and stuff. They also have a lot of black and white photos you can buy. And the woman in there labeled the box of antique photos as "Buy an Ancestor," $5 each. Really cool old black and white photos, one of which was of the Forestry Building from the Lewis and Clark Expedition World's Fair in St. Louis. Look at all these little shops. Something's new. It's an eclectic boutique with vintage things. Sort of mixed messages there with the title. I mean, I get it. It's clever. What if I was really looking for something new? There's lots of weird, interesting stuff here. So what I'm saying is, when you're a weird art person, it actually does take a lot of work to do that. People always think, I would love to be a photographer or a musician or an artist or whatever, and they don't realize, as I have a lot of friends in that business, not just, you know, independently or at a craft fair or something like that, but all the way up to people who are, you know, my friend Ben manages major label, recording artists, I mean, people all the way across the spectrum, graphic designers who work for big companies, skate and surf companies, and all kinds of different stuff. So I met a lot of different artistic people, and I'll tell you that being artistic or having an artistic job takes as much, if not more work sometimes, than any other kind of job. Look at this record store, Mr. C's Records, all vinyl records. Well, you two are very well dressed. You look very nice today. Vinyl records in there. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so it's always awkward when I'm doing the vlog and I'm having this conversation and people come up and they're looking at you like this. What's that crazy guy doing? So it's nice to throw a little compliment their way. They were actually very well dressed. Where were they going? Probably into Mr. C's Records. Look at this. Old Town Orange is very nice. We're on the north side of the Orange Circle, the traffic circle itself, which is a little more hipstery because the college is down here, Chapman University. What I was saying though is that many people with those jobs, they have to work as hard, if not a lot harder, than people without those jobs. Not because they're chained to an 8-hour day at McDonald's or wherever. Look at this lady, she's having fun shopping. How's it going? This guy's having a good time. He's having a stogie right there. Look at this. The sun, light, theater. I hope God loves me. I hope God loves us all. Look at this fella. Nice shirt. Very nice shirt. Not because they're chained down to an 8-hour day, say at Walmart or somewhere normal, where normal people work, but because they have to make their living with their brain. There's a constant pressure to be creative, to find the next, let's say, just take my friend who's a photographer. You have to constantly find the next thing. You constantly have to do research, or people who are authors, people who are friends of mine who write books, of constantly having to research and think and go out and find inspiration. Well, that sounds easy if you're not trying to do it all the time. To find inspiration sounds pretty simple. Well, I get inspired all the time. I never have time to work on my ideas. Well, as soon as you did have time to work on your ideas, you would go through, you would burn through them in 2 or 3 days, and you would have nothing left, or 2 or 3 weeks, and nothing left. So, or it's just like writing songs. You know how hard writing songs is? For some people are very proficient at writing songs. They can write a song every minute, but to write good songs takes quite a lot of effort sometimes. You're not inspired every second to write a wonderful song. So artistic jobs can take quite a lot of effort. I'm not saying mine takes quite a lot of effort. I'm just saying you do have to go out and seek inspiration. You do spend a lot of time thinking of the ideas before you execute them. Sometimes they just happen, but sometimes you spend a lot of time thinking, and you actually do have to spend a lot of, so people that are graphic designers, they think, well, you sit around your computer and you draw stuff all day and you make money. Well, that's absolutely not true. First of all, there's a lot of principles that are involved in design. There's a lot of education required for being a designer, period. You do have to have some sort of art background, or at least, you know, innate artistic ability, if not, you know, do a lot of research when it comes to art and the principles of art, color theory, all kinds of stuff. And you have to stay current on trends, design trends, and, you know, there's a lot of work that goes into creative occupation. So you may see a starving artist who makes half as much money as, you know, your brother that works at the pig shoe factory, and think that guy is a bum, but odds are they may be working twice as hard as pig shoe factory guy. I'm not saying that regular people at regular jobs don't work hard. They work a heck of a lot harder than most people would give anybody any credit for. What I'm saying is, you can't always look at someone creative and think, that person's lazy. It's not true. So anyways, down here looking at inspiration, thinking, at least I can do that instead of, you know, because I can't film at the moment. I have a lot of art stuff to catch up on as well. But I'm down here in the Orange Circle. Look at this. This is a little tea house here. This, according to a haunted tour I just went on, a walking tour, is a very haunted house. The Elliott Alumni House is what it's known as now, part of Chapman University. And this porch is purportedly haunted by the ghost of a woman holding her child. What is that popping sound? Is that a car throwing firecrackers? It's not gunshots and it's not backfires. It's somebody throwing some kind of firecracker or something. Or sounds like giant versions of those little snappers. Remember you used to get those little snappers off the food truck? Bam, bam. Speaking of which, speaking of food trucks, what the heck do you call the... When I say food truck, you think of a truck that comes by and sells you a sandwich or a pizza or maybe a chimichanga. Just go for a chimmy. See, my voice isn't normal. I can't do that. It's because I have no voice, so that's why I'm like this. We're not being super serious. We're not trying to be super extreme about the whole job and the graphic designer and the creativity thing when I'm talking about all that stuff. We're still being chill and cool. It's just I have to talk in this weird monotone because I don't really have any other choice. It's almost like I quit smoking. I don't even use a vaporizer or anything. I'm totally scot-free from any kind of nicotine or any kind of puffable product. But it's like I need to do this anyway. Hello. Actually, I wonder if that's why I lost my voice, because totally no vaporizing, no nothing like that, no nothing. So it's just a different situation with the throat. No, it's too long ago. Too long separated of a thing. It's probably just the screaming. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, what do you call a food truck? When I was growing up, we lived in the barrio when I was really little, and we used to have these food trucks that come by. When I say food truck to you, you think pizza, you think hot dogs, gourmet food. No, 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 no. Not like that. And not like an ice cream truck that sells ice cream and sweets and little bomb bags. Remember those? And candy cigarettes, which is another thing I don't think they really have anymore. But when I say food truck, I meant this thing came by and it was like a little grocery store on wheels. We lived in a very, very Hispanic neighborhood. It would come by, beep, beep, so watermelons and I don't think kale, but all the you know, Lucas and all the little Mexican candy. Which, what is that Mexican candy? I was talking to a friend today and trying to figure out what's that stuff called. It's like a fruit roll up, but it has a lot of stuff on it. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what that stuff is called, so I don't know why I'm pausing as if I'm going to think of it now. What was that called? What do you call? But anyway, what do you call? What's the proper name for those little market trucks that drive around in those neighborhoods? Man, it was kind of weird because those trucks would come and you buy an apple or you could buy tomatoes off the truck. You could buy all kinds of stuff that you don't typically associate with being able to purchase off a truck, but it was quite convenient to have the truck come to you and sell you a watermelon rather than having to go to the store and buy a watermelon. Anyway, that house right there is purportedly haunted, but I don't recall most of the story at the moment, except for when we were on that little ghost tour, they did show us, HauntedOC.com, by the way, they do the Orange Circle historical walking ghost tours. When we were on the tour, they showed us a picture someone had taken. Geez, that actually surprised me, that one. I like how I'm getting closer to the popping sounds. You know, there's a lot of popping sounds. I should get closer to them. They showed us a picture someone had taken on one of the tours of a creepy, ghostly figure holding a child on the balcony. So maybe it's haunted, maybe not. I don't really believe in ghosts, but I like to check them out. The sweet, sweet sulfurous smell of firecrackers. I don't know who's setting off firecrackers or why. I really like that smell. It reminds me of a tour. In Southern California, firecrackers are mostly illegal. Fireworks of almost any kind are about 99% illegal. I don't know who's throwing the firecrackers. I'm missing out on all the fun. So we used to go on tour and then there'd be the big fireworks stands out of state. So we buy all kinds of bottle rockets and black cats and all the cool fun stuff, Roman candles, and light them off in weird parking lots. So whenever I smell that sulfury firecracker smell, I just think of having a lot of fun at 1 in the morning in a weird Taco Bell parking lot somewhere in, you know, Mobile, Alabama or wherever. Speaking of weird things, look at this. Wisconsin motorhome. Look at this girl. She's partying. Wisconsin motorhome right here. I don't know, it's just an interesting looking motorhome. I have no idea why that distracted me. Well, that girl distracted me too because she was like waving like she wanted to be in the vlog, and as soon as I turned the camera around, she wasn't looking. This is the coolest RV I've seen in a while. That's why it was distracting me. Look how, like, I don't know, what would you say, 70s or 60s? Because to me that looks very 1960s. That is super cool looking. I sort of want to live in that. Right? Amazing. Anyway, what are we talking about? Can't even remember. Oh, I don't really believe in ghosts, I was saying, I think, before. But I'm trying to be very open-minded as to other people's beliefs in things. And I'm always interested to check out historical locations. I wish those ghost hunter shows Someone needs to do haunted history, just a show about haunted history. I mean, on TV. There's all kinds of YouTube things and websites and books. But someone needs to do one of those ghost hunter type shows where they just do the first half. It's just 2 installments of the first half. All they do is go to the home. Because when they go to the house and they talk about the history, and they talk about the paranormal events that people have reported, especially the more historical ones, or the ones with some precedent. I'm sorry for the wind, by the way. We're going to go in the lee of this building here, and it shouldn't be as bad. I find that stuff very, very interesting. So, for example, let's take the biggest one, ghost hunters. When ghost hunters goes to like Mark Twain's house or something like that, and they're talking about the Clemens family, they're talking about how Mark Twain's daughter Susie perished in the house and things like that. I find that all very fascinating, but as soon as they turn the lights off, personally, the show becomes a lot more boring for me because they all sort of end up not showing anything or just showing very little. And some people find that to be evidence, convincing evidence. I really don't. I mean, some of it's compelling and interesting, but for me personally, I really like the historical side of it. I'm a lot more titillated and sort of creeped out by the historical element and the stories people tell. The ghost stories creep me out more than the parts where they turn it off and they have the green light on them and their, you know, the infrared camera and the FLIR and the whole thing. That part is not my favorite part. But I am very interested in going with some paranormal investigators I've met lately on their paranormal investigations. So I don't know. I would be on a ghost show. I would be the skeptic. I would be the one standing there going like, yeah, that's creepy, but it might not be a ghost, fellas. You know what I mean? So that's what I think about that. It's the same thing as like finding Bigfoot. I love the idea of Bigfoot, kind of more than anybody I know. I love the idea of Bigfoot. I was obsessed with Bigfoot as a kid. I used to read every book I could get in the school library about Bigfoot. I'd go to Anaheim Public Library, the big one down on Broadway, and read every book I could on Bigfoot. Some of these books were way too grown up for me to read at the time. I remember when we had to learn about debating in school, in elementary school, I made us debate about Bigfoot just so that I could debate both sides of the Bigfoot question to myself. So I was obsessed with Sasquatch. So you'd think Finding Bigfoot would be my favorite show ever, except it's not, because they're trying to be very scientific, which I think is very cool, but then at the same time they make these blanket statements like, oh, this is definitely Squatch territory. Well, how do you know that? If you're trying to be scientific, we haven't exactly documented. You've documented plenty of, I don't know. I just don't find it very convincing. I just don't find it very convincing. I like to hear the first half, but the investigation side of those shows, not particularly my thing. Just saying, just putting out a personal preference, just having a convo, just chatting, you and me. Let's chat about something completely different, which is the quest for positivity. Hashtag Q for P. Yesterday, I turned another day older. Well, duh. I turned another day older. I mean, another year older. Another official, it's your birthday year older. Which makes me think, you know, friends, we're all going to die. Good thing I'm doing this when I have this monotone voice, right? We're all going to die. Well, we are literally all going to die. As far as we know, no one has lived forever. And anyway, who wants to live forever? I can't sing Queen right now. I mean, I can never sing Queen, but I really can't sing it now. Highlander, what a good movie. Anyway, none of us are immortal. We're all going to die. It makes me think there is no normal. There is nothing planned. I put it on Facebook and Twitter today. One of the lessons I've learned, I was thinking about this a lot last night and this morning, is live and let live, love and let love. Don't hold on to the past. Let it go as much as possible, or you're not going to have any room in your life for the new blessings that God or the universe or good luck or good fortune, whatever you want to call it, sends your way, right? So think about it this way. If I'm super bitter about the experiences that happened to me in the past year, the bad ones, or afraid, or angry, or regretful that, oh, I wanted this and I got this. I wanted this person to do this thing and they did this thing. I wanted this person in my life, they wanted to go over here. I wanted this person to do this thing for me and they didn't do that thing for me. Whatever it is, if you hold on to that, you're sort of doing the whole closing the window, closing the door thing. You know what I'm talking about? You know, wherever God closes the door, he opens the window. Have you ever heard that expression? So you're sort of closing the window. You know what I mean? Or you're actually closing the door. Because a lot of times, I think, in life, when we think, you know, the door closed, actually just, you know, the window closed. And it's a second story window that had no balcony and led to certain destruction half the time. So what we think is right, what we think is the right thing to do, what makes the most sense to us and maybe our friends and family and neighbors sometimes, might not always be the thing that God or the universe has planned for us. I don't necessarily want to talk about religion, but I do personally like to think of the universe as an organized place, a slightly organized place. I do believe in karma and what goes around comes around and all that kind of stuff. I do have some sort of belief in a narrative of existence other than just random happenstance. I don't judge anybody who thinks that everything is just random happenstance. That's as specific as I'd ever like to be, by the way. I don't think that everything always has to happen for a reason, but I would like to. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with that. We could get into philosophy and talk about it a whole lot, about relativism versus absolute truth and philosophical realism, etc., etc., etc. But we're not going to do that because half of us would not understand, mostly me. So I'm just going to put it that way and say that if you do believe the universe is ordered, if you do believe there are reasons that things happen, and if you do believe in some sort of fate or destiny or outside help, good fortune, or even good karma, don't block the doorway to your own happiness by sitting there thinking about what you're miserable about. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of sad things that have happened to me, and I have noticed that a lot of good things have happened to me, and a lot of good things have almost happened to me that I sat in the doorway of and Heimbucked myself out of, or delayed for a long, long, long time, my happiness or other people's happiness, because I could not accept something that at first I did not want or understand. So to be less vague, or to give you an example, I'm trying to think of an example from my real life and I can't, so I'm going to have to give you a hypothetical. I just can't pick one off the top of my head. Let's say, you know, you're bitter that you didn't get this job that you wanted, so you sulk about it and you're angry and you keep trying to get a certain type of job over and over and over and over and over, and you put all your time and effort into it. Well, if you do that, you're not going to have your eyes and ears open for the possibility of taking some other kind of job in a career that you might be better suited for, and it might take you years to come around and finally go, somebody else might take that job. You were even offered, but you're going, no, 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 I want to do this. I want to be a filmmaker, so I'm trying to get a job in Hollywood. My brother keeps offering me this job, you know, writing for a magazine, but I don't want to do that. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a screenwriter. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up now. And you go along trying to be a screenwriter for years and years and years, and then, you know, your brother gives somebody else a job doing whatever, writing for this magazine. It turns out the magazine is amazing, and all of a sudden the magazine starts making movies down the line, and you're doing nothing because you wanted to be a screenwriter so bad you ended up working at Starbucks. Do you know what I mean? Am I making any sense? This is just all me vomiting out my own thoughts from the last day. A lot of things in my life did not go according to plan. I wanted to play rock and roll till I died. Now, I don't want to play rock and roll till I die. It's a weird thing because tastes change and sometimes what you want changes. But it's also the fact that I spent a lot of years going, well, that's the thing I do. That's the thing that I do. That's the creative thing that I do, and it's the only creative thing I'm good at, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And it turns out I'm better suited for other things. And because I stood in my own doorway for such a long time and insisted on having certain relationships with certain people and not admitting to myself that I was miserable or they were miserable, and not admitting to, and I'm not saying that I was at fault for certain things that some of you know because of that sometimes while in the past, but I'm just saying I definitely put off a lot of things in my life because they weren't normal, or I didn't think they were the right thing to do for a long, long time. There is no normal. Having said that, all that stuff about, you know, the universe and all that kind of stuff, there is no normal. I studied theology and philosophy for most of my life in a, I would say, not like a serious Oxford scholar kind of way, but in a much more serious than the casual walk into a bookstore and pick up a book now and then kind of way. And I have never found anything anywhere to suggest that there's one normal for existence. For example, let's just take Christianity as an example. I'm not trying to be religious or pick on a religion at all. This is just a for instance. Christians in this country, and there's so many different kinds, there's so many different branches, so that might not even be appropriate, but let's just go with it. We'll feel one way about something, but Christians in, say, Central Africa will live a completely different lifestyle. So maybe here, you know, in Kansas or Poughkeepsie or something, it's, oh, it's normal, you need to go to a college and you need to have this kind of job and you need to have this kind of family and that's it. Well, the same people of the same religious faith that live in Central Africa will have a completely different understanding of what a person does, at what age, where they go, what they do for a living. So there is no normal on planet Earth. There is no one thing. We are all created or born as individuals. We all die as individuals, and like I just said earlier, we're all going to die. Bringing it full circle and back around, man, I really want to know where his fireworks are coming from. I want to hang out with the fireworks guys, right? Not talk about all this boring stuff. We're all going to die. There is no guarantee tomorrow. I might not have woke up this morning. You might not have woke up this morning. We get to be here. I remember one time hearing this interview with George Lucas where he was talking about this crazy car accident that he was in high school. All he did was build cars and race cars, do drag racing stuff. He was really obsessed with cars, and he was in this horrible, horrible automobile wreck. He was never into film or photography or anything nerdy before that. And after he was in the car crash, he was talked about once having looked at every day. He wasn't supposed to be alive, so he looked at every day as an extra day, like a gift. And so he got interested in all these different creative things. And now we have Star Wars. So for those of you who are fans of the original, let's just not even think about the prequels, but you know, but for those of you who are fans of Star Wars, we wouldn't have Star Wars if George Lucas, the person, didn't think about it every day as a gift. So I'm trying really hard to remember, memento mori, remember, you know, keep death before your eyes and remember that we're all going to die. That sounds like a negative thing, but it's sort of the ultimate quest for positivity thing. You know, Orthodox monks, Christian monks in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd century, long time ago, when they would die, they would put their bones, you know, they'd bury bodies, but because monasteries didn't have a lot of room for bodies, people had very, very different relationships with death back then than we do now, where we sort of sanitize death and we hide from it. They only had so much room in their cemetery, so they would bury a body for a certain amount of time, then they would dig it back up when it was just bones and put the bones in ossuaries or in a central room, you know, where there'd be stacks of these skulls, which we find very morbid today, but at the time was very normal. So they'd stack up these skulls, and some of them would have written on them, you know, as you are, I once was, as I am, you shall be, that type of thing, because they always wanted to keep death in front of their eyes. And to us in our culture, that seems so negative, but there's a totally other way to look at it, which is, remember that tomorrow is not guaranteed. You didn't have to wake up this morning. Your furnace could have malfunctioned and you could have been killed by carbon monoxide poisoning. An asteroid could have hit planet Earth. Anything could have happened. Anything. You could have fell down and hit your head wrong. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Today was not guaranteed. I like to think of every day as an extra day. And here comes some college students who are not thinking that way at all. Look at them. Look at this dog right here. Look at their shoes. That's a very nice jacket. Look at that guy's hair. These are students of a film college, so they are ignoring the vlog very kindly, as people should do, I suppose, or maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they should interact with the vlog. I would be interacting more and trying to be funny, only I don't have much of a voice, and I was talking about something kind of serious, which is that we're all going to die, but that's actually kind of a good thing to remember, because you're not going to take today for granted. And I don't want to take you guys for granted. You guys are wonderful, amazing people. Thank you so much for all of your support and all of your comments and all of your sweet birthday cards and stuff like that some of you sent me. I understand there's more waiting for me at the P.O. box, so I'll go check them hopefully before I leave and go up north this weekend and do some roaming around and traveling, since I can't talk or film main channel videos anyways. We'll keep up with the sometimes vlog, hopefully. There's so much else to talk about. But make sure to go to livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. We got a new Live Fast Die Poor hat. I'm working on getting a new Random Land hat up there and some other things. I want to have a contest very soon where we do some ideas for t-shirt designs. I'll maybe have you guys design a shirt and win a shirt or something like that. I'm trying to think of a good contest so we can give away a shirt, but that is the best way you can support, at least me. Go to livefastdiepoor.spreadshirt.com. If you like something on there, pick it up. There's my plug for my thing, which is what I have to do because that's my job. The rest of my job, though, is hanging out with you, which is what we're doing now. So let's go inside of this wonderful college here, Dodge College, the Marion Knott Studios. Marion Knott, of course. It's one of the Knotts family. Those are Knott's Berry Farm. How are you doing, sir?
Good.
You look very comfortable. You look like you're waiting for a ride or the wind to change, and you're so relaxed and comfortable, whereas I look uncomfortable 100% of the time, because I am, sort of. Look at this. Oh, fancy. Some of that Knott's Berry Farm money went right here. Look right here. There she is. Marion Knott. Hi, Marion. Right here into this Dodge College, which is the film school part of Chapman University. And we have a friend who works in this very building. And maybe I shouldn't tell you that. But it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't. Why am I whispering? There's no reason to whisper. So anyway, people make films in here all the time. This is one of those things. I'm sure they're going to make way better films than I've ever made in my entire life. I apologize for being so quiet, but I have no choice. Look at this. The Cecil B. DeMille Theater here at Dodge College. They have all kinds of screenings. They have filmmakers come and talk to the students here. Pretty cool place. Costs somewhere upwards of $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year to go to this film school. So I will never be going to this film school. So there are students here who are going to do all kinds of creative things. There are students here who are going to do nothing though. So don't get depressed if you can't go to a fancy film school or a fancy school for doing whatever it is that you want to do. Maybe you haven't set out on your future yet. Look at this. I make weird YouTube videos and sometimes more than 100 people watch them, which is literally mind-blowing and amazing. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a film director. I wanted to go to film school. I wanted to make Star Wars. I didn't get to go to film school. I didn't get to make Star Wars yet. But I made a couple of weird videos and a couple of people have watched them. And that's pretty awesome. So don't close yourself off to possibilities. Just because you didn't get to do it the fancy, schmancy, normal way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And now I'm whispering for a reason.
You've got to be kidding me.
Shh. Hello? Sir, we are here to clean. Hi, Jeff Heimbuch. Jeff Heimbuch?
I'm like,
It's as loud as I can get.
it
Jeff
sounds like
Heimbuch?
someone's keys jingling around down the hallway because it's
You know,
so
I was trying to
quiet.
sneak up on Allie in DCA the other day, and I was like, how did you know it was coming even? And she
keys.
was like, the keys. I could hear the keys.
It's spring break. There's literally no one in this building except for probably me and you right now.
Well, and ow, Heimbuch it.
my
And this guy
chair.
outside in front of the building who looks very relaxed and comfortable. I think he's waiting for the wind to change so he can row somewhere. That was a bit. I don't know where I was
I
going
don't know
with
where
that.
you're going with that either.
Jeff Heimbuch. He
Oh,
works here.
I do. I'm
We
literally
told
looking
the
right
internet
now.
where you worked, which at first I was just thinking right now, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. But then I realized not only have we done it before,
You've done it 1,000 times.
but also everywhere on your social media it says where
it
you
says
work.
where I work.
So we could
it's
probably
cool,
look
guys.
you up. Although now they know you work on the third
Actually,
floor.
somebody who's watched before has actually come to say hello because they actually go to the school. I forget your
Is
name.
that a good or a bad idea? Well, if they go to the school,
If
they
they
can
go
do
to
whatever
school,
they
it's
want.
fine. Yeah.
Because they pay handsomely for the privilege.
Yes, they do.
I don't.
No.
So, wait a second. So, if they don't go to the school, it's probably a bad idea to visit you at work.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if they want to come to the school eventually and they want to take a tour, they can come take a tour. Then maybe say hello. Or something.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
So,
what
if
happened.
you want to spend a lot of... How much? What's the tuition?
A lot of Heimbuchs.
If I gave you $5 Heimbuchs, could I go to film school?
I can give you a book, a chapter on filmmaking.
What about Stanley Nichols?
What's the conversion rate for Heimbuchs? To Stanley Nichols?
I'm not 100% sure. Look at this. Drew Heimbuchs.
It's still there, man.
I left you that note. I mean, someone left you that note on your
Someone
car.
Left me that
Some
note.
anonymous person. left that-
Almost a year
So wait,
ago.
so there's nobody here?
Seriously, like...
Nobody's here! Hello!
Yeah, maybe it's gone.
Why does my mind go instantly to no one's here? You know what would be awesome? We can crawl on the floor. Let's get down low on the floor. Why is that my go-to thing? Why isn't it like running through the hallway screaming or...
You know what I just realized?
This is
Not
actually
only
really
is this
comfortable.
camera on, but there's also that one up there, so security could probably see at some
Hi,
point.
security.
And these two weirdos are crawling around. Oh, there's one down there too.
Listen to the boots on the floor. It sounds
That's
so
how I
cool.
knew you were coming.
I thought you said it was the
It was
keys.
the keys, and then I hear you talking. I'm like, there's only one person I know that talks
All
like
right,
that.
so Jeff Heimbuch won't admit won't admit to
That's
peeing in the
Spanish.
shower. But today, Randy, Chef Tafoya, on Instagram or Twitter
I think it was Twitter.
and Instagram, tweeted me and Adam the Woo and said, yeah, I actually like hanging out in the hallway like this. Came up with a great idea, which is, would Jeff Heimbuch pee in the shower for charity? So Jeff Heimbuch, in a strange twist of fate, has agreed that he would pee in the shower for $1,000 going towards a charity.
Yes.
I found a good charity, which is the Depression Bipolar Suicide Alliance. So they work with prevention of suicide and, you know, the mitigation of depression and bipolar disorder.
It's a good cause.
The
I looked at their website.
Of it. Very good cause. And they are connected to GoFundMe. So Jeff Heimbuch later, don't do anything yet.
Not yet.
Don't do anything yet.
Gotta wait.
Don't even breathe. Okay, breathe. Jeff Heimbuch later is going to go set up the account for himself to do something he's completely uncomfortable with. He's going,
That's right.
If we raise $1,000, which means we each only have to give like $1 or something, because I forget how many subscribers, but we'll just give $1.
How hard could it be to raise $1,000?
Maybe we'll go over $1,000. That would be amazing.
We could have stretch goals.
For charity.
We raise $2,000, I'll pee in his shower.
No, I don't want you to pee in my shower.
No, that's a stretch goal.
No, if you raise $2,000, you'll pee in Tyler Evans' bathtub.
Okay, that's fair.
While you're in it, though. Wait, how are we going to prove that you did this? Well, you have a fiance.
Well,
She can.
No, I guess.
No. We don't need to get into the details.
No,
we'll figure out.
whatever.
We'll figure out something. We'll have Tyler make sure,
I will
because
come
Tyler's
out
a
of the
big
shower
skeptic.
and say, guys, I peed in it. That's
Well, you
what
could
I'll
just do that anyway.
But I'm actually going to do it. Why would I just say it? And
You
not
lied
actually
about
do
not doing it in the first place,
But
so
I
why
haven't
wouldn't
done
you
it in the
lie
first
about
place,
doing it?
So I'm a man of my word, and my word is I'll pee in the shower for $1,000.
Going towards charity. So we're going to
Towards
raise
charity.
money for charity by making Jeff Heimbuch pee. Why is that so funny? Urinate in the shower. This is the greatest idea ever of all time. I have
It
to
is a good
admit,
idea.
Randy was the first person I saw bring up the idea, and then Adam retweeted it, and then I saw it, and then I put it on the Live Fast I Pour Twitter, and Heimbuch sent me a text like, "Oh, you,
Immediately, as soon as you post that, like,
evil
you monster.
genius, yeah, you monster. That's
you
what it was.
monster.
You monster.
You monster. But it's a
Because
good
you
idea.
know
I'll
you
do it,
can't
guys.
not pee. Plus, you know what? The fringe benefit for you is that now that you'll admit to it this time, not only are you relieving all of us of the stress of your lies,
Otherwise, that's stressful.
but you're
Okay.
relieving yourself of the stress of lying. It's like you're like the murderer. You're like the telltale heart guy that's freaking out because you know you've peed in the shower and you can hear the boom, 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 boom of the splashes of your pee-pees hitting the shower splashes.
I don't think that's how it
And
works, actually.
this is exactly like Edgar Allan Poe. I'm pretty much reciting it line for line. And you're just stressed, feeling the stress. Thy stresseth, feeleth
the Heimbuch
the
never pee.
force of the urine as he softly tread upon the boards. He could hear yonder the sound
Once
of
upon
splashing.
a shower jury,
There you go.
a shower peed.
Once
nowhere
upon
near
a
me.
shower. Okay, that's it. Nailed it.
All right,
Heimbuched it.
got it, guys. I'm on it.
So Jeff Heimbuch is going to pee in the shower if we raise $1,000 for charity. And honestly, I think we should just raise $1,000 for charity anyway.
Anyway, regardless.
But what we get out of it is Heimbuch's going to pee in the shower. And forever afterwards, because he's not going to like it, we can call him a shower peer.
But then you're also a shower peer.
But we admit to it. Everyone else admits to it.
So why is it a big deal when I do it then?
Because you don't like it.
This whole thing just needs to be put behind us at this point. I swear.
Well, we're going to put it behind us by putting it in front of us out into the shower.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means
But
either.
seriously, though, we're going to raise $1,000 for charity. All of us
This is a long
together.
vlog. Have you been vlogging for a
Oh,
while?
we've been
Clearly you have
vlogging through the whole inner circle. Now we're sitting in a hallway. Why not just
Yes.
keep going? Well, I may not vlog. I'm getting very hoarse, so I've been doing
You
these
are.
short, tiny vlogs lately, and I've been busy,
You have been busy.
and I haven't had any upload ability. That was the main thing, because I was leaving the house at 6 in the morning, and coming back at 2 in the morning, so there wasn't really any opportunity to upload
There's
vlogs.
no
I was
internet out there in
keeping
the
it
world.
short. Well, not much.
Not
To
for
be
free
honest.
anyway. You can go to Starbucks if you want.
That's true. All right, we're gonna end it here around 40 minutes. Jeff Heimbuch.
It's a long vlog, guys.
Yeah, but we're gonna raise money for charity.
That's true.
$1,000 of Heimbuchs Thank you all for watching the Sometimes Vlog. Subscribe, please. Make sure to check out Communicore Weekly.
I'm supposed to record it tonight. But
It's
I'm not
supposed to
going
be the greatest online show.
It is, guys. Come on. Let's be honest.
Also, livefastdeport@spreadshirt.com. Hit me up on Twitter @JustinScar and also @Jeff Heimbuch. Goodbye. I love you all.
I love you guys too.
He's lying.
I'm not. I really mean it, guys. I totally love
He
you.
pees in the shower.